Right, welcome everyone to 10G Online Connect. So whole purpose of this is obviously widen your group reach, not just within your region, but nationwide as well. And then secondly, to bring some awesome guest speakers in front of you so that you can learn and get inspired. And today we've got Tibor Mackor, and he's going to be from Better Business Strategies, and he's presenting Business Growth Foundations. So business owners generally have little money and time, you stretched. And how do you gain both back into your business, so that you have a business that both creates more money, gives you opportunity to have time and, have that better work-life balance. So with an extensive background in chartered accountancy and, over 20 years involving and advising business owners, definitely got a good acumen behind him and a good head of experience. Also, background in sports and coaching, so that kind of aligns with the work that he now does with businesses. Also a sought after conference speaker and workshop panelist, so definitely hands-on practical approach. So really looking forward to hearing from Tibor today. So by all means, Tibor, take it away.
Awesome, thank you very much for the intro. Right, so I'll share my screen and just make sure I get to the right one. And there we go. Right, thank you everybody for joining us today. Today I want to talk about the business growth foundations that many business owners struggle with to get the grasp around in the beginning. But I guess just before we get started, I'll just make sure that yes, there we go, actually works. So I was born in Amsterdam. This is a long time ago, and grew up in South Africa. My parents moved to South Africa when I was a young child, and started playing underwater hockey after I decided that I wanted to do some scuba diving and find some hidden gold and lost wrecks in the sea. But eventually, that novelty wore off, and really got interested in the underwater hockey side of things, and eventually rose to become a world champion. And then I moved to South Africa and helped New Zealand underwater hockey rise up over the years, and coached many of the younger teams. I in fact coached the New Zealand men's team in 2013 when we went to Hungary. So it's been a long time of, I guess, sports coaching and sports playing for myself. I also ran a 3-partner chartered accountancy practice in South Africa, helped grow that business when they made me the general manager, from a 9-partner or a 9 people practice to a 20 people practice by the time that I left in 1998. I started Better Business Strategies in 2002. I worked for 2 chartered accountancy firms in between my arrival and the starting of Better Business Strategies. Married my wife, Elena, in 2004. And as you can see, I've got 2 monkeys, 12 and 14. And have been in business coaching full-time since 2008. So let's get started on some of the definitions that I think every single person needs to understand about what business coaching and advisory is all about. And the first one starts with mentoring. So what is mentoring? Mentoring is really getting your ideas around the bigger picture of your business and the longer term aspects of what you want to achieve with your business. Coaching is different because you've got certain goals that you want to achieve, and you use coaching for that. You can think about it even in a athletic or even rugby type situation. You get coached by somebody to attain a certain level of competence in a sport, and then you may move on to other coaches as you progress. So one of the big things of coaching that I end up with is making sure that people understand the short-term objectives and get them to achieve those over a period. And in the example here, it's to work on the mindset of the owner and discover and overcome a lot of their limiting beliefs. And the last one is advisory. So this is one that chartered accountants like to use a lot and call themselves business advisors. The difference between them and what I do as a advisory is they are focused on a lot of the financial side of the business, whereas advisory has a lot of different things in business itself. And most importantly, it's the implementation of the systems and actually measuring how they work for your business. I've successfully helped many business owners implement specific systems. One of them, most importantly, is the information or flow of information, as well as the communication side of that. The results of implementing all of that is just spectacular for most business owners. So one of the important things that business owners need to understand is the hierarchy of needs of their business. And one of the important parts that you always start with is there's a get phase of a business and there's a give phase of a business. The get phase is the first part, the sales. You don't have a business if you don't have sales. It's as simple as it gets. And it's about the creation of cash. In order to make sure that your business stays profitable in the long term, you need to make sure that you've got continuous sales coming into the business. But sales isn't just good enough. You need to be able to create profit from those sales. The amount of businesses that I can list is enormous about how I transition people from getting general income to making a real profit. And you know, the woke left might say, well, profit is bad because it's going to take money from people. Well, if a business is not making profit, you aren't making a living over the longer term, and your business will fail. So profit is good for business. It's the, I guess, excessive profits that certain businesses over the last number of years have been making. That is where there might be a problem. But profit in general is needed to create stability in your business. And if you don't have stability, your business will fail over the longer term. Once you've got that stability and you've got your profitability and you've got continuous sales going on, that's where you can create order in the business. Now, what does order mean? And that comes back to the previous point that I listed, and that is the creation of systems. And the systems need to create efficiency. Once you've got all of that type of stuff sorted out, you will see that your business is far more stable, as well as one of the most important things that you need to understand as a business owner is to create the opportunity for you to work in your business, on your business rather than in your business, because most business owners are working in their business continuously. The creation of efficiency means that you've created the structure, you've created the systems, and you've got a personnel who are doing specific tasks that you would normally have done in a smaller business. But because it's now growing, you are now being taken out of certain tasks to focus on the bigger picture of where your business is going. Some of the business owners that I've worked with, where I've helped them create the order parts of their business, have had so many extra hours. I remember one chartered accountant he had an extra Friday afternoon for his golf. But I've had other business owners that have said, oh my God, I've got some time here. And what did they do? They created new avenues of income for their business. So it really depends on you as the business owner, what you want to do with that extra time. But you cannot create it if you don't put in the systems and processes, each one of them from sales to creating profitability to creating order. Impact comes when your business is flowing so well and you can take a month's leave and come back without any problems. That's when things start becoming a lot more automatic in a business, so much so that you're not part of the hiring process anymore. The systems are in place for that. You're not needed on the day-to-day decision-making aspects anymore, because the managers that have been put in place know exactly where they're going with the business and what they need to do. That impact allows you as the business owner to look for new opportunities. And those new opportunities might be the acquisition of other businesses, and or well, if you want to, you can even go and sit on the beach and drink pina coladas. That is totally up to you. But that will be where the impact of your company starts making. But most importantly, it's the opportunity where your business might be able to start giving out to the community. You might start sponsoring sports teams and or whatever else that it may happen. The last part is a legacy business. And that is something that is permanent. People know about it. Your products, your services are top class, and people just know this is where I go and shop for whatever it might be. That is a longer term thing, and it creates the permanence of a business in a longer term. And, you know, some legacy businesses in New Zealand might be something like Fletcher's in New Zealand, any of those type of longer term businesses that have got the systems and structures in place. So always keep this hierarchy of needs in your mind while you're doing your business. But coming back to the business owner must always look at where you're going and why you're in business, so that you can create the free time to be able to do what you ever wanted to do when you started this business. Many business owners, sadly, are stuck in the day-to-day frustrations of having to pay wages on time, get money from their clients, several other issues within the production side of their business. It's a real challenge if you don't plan it properly. So on the helping side, one of the most important things that you as the business owner need is passion for your business. If you don't have the passion, you will not survive the troubled times. And it's important that you are able to overcome whatever challenges that a business, and believe me, there are many challenges that'll come in your business life. Make sure that you're ready to face them, and it has to come from a deep-seated passion for your business. An area that I tend to help a lot of business owners with is for them to communicate where their vision is. You know, if you've got this fantastic idea, but you never tell anybody about it, it's very difficult to get people on board and follow what you want to create over a longer period of time. And this goes both for your staff, as well as for your suppliers, and as well as for your customers. That vision is so important to communicate, because what you need to do is you need to create a community around your business so that they're able to talk about you and help you promote it to the next level. So clear and vivid vision. You've got the vision, which is a people focus. Why are you there? In other words, it's about serving your community. It's about serving your tribe, if you want to call it that. This is the people that you serve and how you're going to make their life better. That's your vision. The mission is why you're there. And that is about how getting your people and your stakeholders involved in the vision and making sure that they understand the big why of your business. And of course, the values are how to achieve them. One of the values that people often write down is respect. A consultant that I know in the States once had to do a $1 billion company audit of a challenged area in their business. And one of the areas that he had to look at was why a certain department was losing a lot of the place. He found out that their best salesperson was treating their staff very badly, and that's why they were leaving. When he went back to the directors, and he put his proposal forward that the person be fired, the director of that division stood up and shouted, "How can we get rid of the guy who sells the best for us and gets the multi-billion-dollar sales and whatever?" The consultant calmly said, "Well, have a look at all the list of your values in your business, and one of them is respect. Clearly, there's no respect here. And my advice is still to fire him. However, have a sit down with him show him the analysis, and then make a decision from there. Well, they did eventually, and the salesperson didn't know that his attitude was wrong, and they managed to help correct it and retain his services. But it's important that respect be held in high reverence if you put it in as a value in your business. Hire the best people. How many times have I had people in business owners where they just decide they're going to stick adverts in Seek or on Trade Me or anything else and try and find the person themselves? When you want your business to grow, make sure that the people that you hire have three main things in place. The first one is attitude. That's the first thing that you need to look for when you're hiring a person. The second thing is that they're a fit in your business. And only lastly do you look whether or not they have the full qualifications for it. If they have the attitude, they will learn the last bit so quickly. And this is important for everybody to understand when you're hiring. And that's part of making sure that your hiring practices are done properly. And here is where I would recommend that you look at getting professional help to hire the right people. One of my clients that I've helped over the last year went through, I'm just trying to think, 4 people, because he didn't want to listen, still went through the Trade Me and other applications and suffered the loss of productivity and B, the cost, because these people didn't fit in with the business. I did try and warn him, but you know, some people just don't listen until they listen. Also, attracting the right talent. What does that mean? It means that you may not be hiring right now, but you can start speaking to certain people who may fit within your business over a period of time. And when the opportunity is right, they might be at the right time as well, where the timing is perfect. Of course, working together in a business is important, and the atmosphere has to be good. So in other words, if people live in a toxic atmosphere, I can guarantee you, you're going to have lots of people walking out of your business. So it's from the top down where the atmosphere is created. If you leave it to business managers, and business managers have a toxic, I guess, personality, and you as the business owner don't correct that from the start, you will have people leaving your business. So make sure that you're hiring the right people. As I said earlier, clear communication. If you give an instruction, it needs to be in such a way to say, this is how I want you to pick up the pencil and put it over there. And if you still think that they don't fully understand, here's a little tip. Ask them to repeat what you've told them. You might be surprised how much people don't really listen when they're receiving instructions. It's got to be clear and unambiguous, and you must be able to receive feedback. So if you as the owner and or manager give an instruction and somebody says, hey boss, haven't you thought about doing it this way? Don't dismiss it out of hand, because sometimes your staff actually might come up with some better ideas. It doesn't mean that they are always right, but if you're open to feedback, that's the opportunity to say, wow, didn't think of that. Congratulations, thank you. And of course, most importantly, if you're in a bigger organization, when the management make a decision on certain things, make sure that the people on the shop floor get to hear it as well. And it gets to be repeated on a regular basis, because they only hear it once and it's forgotten. Urgency. Now, this is an area where, sadly, in New Zealand, we don't always follow up as we should. So are you and your business urgent about achieving your goals? Sad to say that the majority of businesses that I've worked with, when the goals and the plan have been created, the urgency to implement all of the stuff that was decided upon didn't resonate with the business owners as much as it should have been. If they had done and followed up and implemented most of the stuff that they said that they wanted to implement, they would be in a far better position today than they are. And this is about making sure that when you go down a certain route, that you actually implement it in full. The second thing is, are you enabling mediocrity? If you're allowing somebody to slack off and you don't correct that, the rest of the people who are really pulling their weight will say, oh, that guy's doing, half job and still getting full pay. Why should I? And that is the rot that sets into a business. The more you enable mediocrity, you're on the slippery road to a business that's going to fail. And of course, one of the most important things is when you come up to a challenge, that you actually address it. And that can be done in any way by talking to your stakeholders, which might be your staff and or suppliers and or even your customers, of how can we address these things. But it's imperative that you do it urgently. The longer you let it lie, the longer your problem will stick around, and then the faster your business will decline. So keep up. Whenever there's something comes up, that you attack that immediately. Execution, I've already mentioned this. When you have a plan in place, make sure that it gets executed. Even if you give instructions to staff and or even your suppliers, it's about making sure that it actually gets done. Because just imagine if you've ordered some parts from a supplier and you've got a delivery date that you've got to finish off for your customer. Imagine how upset your customer will be if your supplier decides to take a little bit longer than normal. It means that your processes either have to be sped up to meet your customers' needs, and where failures then can happen, or you need to start thinking about, well, how am I going to sort this out? Follow through on the plans, and also you as the leader of your organization need to follow up on a regular basis with your managers to make sure that the plans are actually being implemented. Do you focus on, so the customer needs is the next one, and this is where I find that a lot of people seem to dismiss their customers up to a point. And that is about, Johnny will be happy with the end result of this. That may not always work out, because Johnny will see a shoddy completion of a job or whatever and accept it for that moment. But he'll start thinking, well, is Tibor really good enough to do all this stuff? Maybe I'll start asking questions around. You need to understand your customer, their needs, even understanding a lot about their life and their lifestyle. How can you potentially help them a little bit more? If you're not talking to your customer on a regular basis and saying, how else can I help you? You may never know that they need something else in their business that you can supply. Just think about all of those things. It's about making sure that you create a strong bond between your business and your customer. Also, is there a clear understanding of the instructions, both from the customer and from your side, so that they understand what's going on? All of this, if you implement this properly, will lead to higher profit, especially if you're able to upsell other products that they may not have been aware of, that your customer or that your business can supply to them. So these are the key areas of growth areas. The first one is passion. You need to have the passion for your business, a clear and vivid vision. You need to hire the right people. There needs to be clear communication, urgency to do the things, make sure that it gets done, and of course, making sure that your customer focus is taken care of. So are you ready for change? Never be afraid of change. You may lose something good, but you may gain something even better. So are you ready for the next? Do you have a clear vision? Do you want business increases over 300% as some of my clients have achieved? Do you want to hire and retain the best staff? Do you want the best business, and do you want freedom for your business? I have a special offer for the TNG networking group. It's $1,000 plus GST per month, and it's online. And these are for solopreneurs and small businesses up to 2 staff. This is an online coaching / mentoring type service. And this is done bi-weekly. So it'll clarify your vision, identify the key milestones and objectives, uncover the hidden challenges and blind spots that could be sabotaging your success, create a 3-stage long-term plan and a next step plan. And then lastly, you'll leave every session renewed, inspired, and re-energized about your business. So that's the special offer. And I guess if there's, I'm open for questions from here on in. I'll stop sharing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tibor. That was great. Thanks for sharing. Definitely a good introduction. Lots of good points. I have a question around employees versus contractors for businesses. Could you share a little bit from your insight around pros and cons of both?
Yeah, sure. So when you want to grow your business and you're already in growth mode, it is probably better to have employees that understand and that share your vision. Contractors are people who come in for short periods of time, or you hire for a set period of time, which is great if you're a small business and you want to get to that growth phase. And these contractors will be able to help you overcome the certain things that you need done in your business. The challenge with contractors are that they are not focused on the end goal. They are just focused on that short little bit that you're hiring them for, because they've got other jobs that they also cover. So while contractors can be very useful in the initial small growth part or initial growth part of your business, longer term employees are going to be your stronger bet to make sure that you get your growth. Did that answer?
Yeah, no, it's good. Thanks, Tibor. I mean, in our business as well, digital space, it's quite easy to just outsource to contractors overseas or working remotely, that sort of thing. And it can be hard sometimes to kind of build up that team culture. So on the other aspect, obviously, working with staff that are remote, how do you keep that team aspect and that company culture relevant and apparent throughout their workday?
So it's something I spoke about earlier. It's called communication. So in other words, there must be regular communication in whatever form that suits everybody. You could be in the middle of the night here and it's the middle of the day on the other side, which might be a bit challenging for a Zoom call. But that's where the potential of emails and texts and so forth can come in handy. Text will be a bit of a challenge. But emails on a communication basis for very diverse time ranges. But in general, short Zoom calls, just making sure that the people are still focused on the end result, and just getting basic feedback from that might be very, very handy to still keep up that type of culture. And just during that call, reminding people why the company exists and why they're doing what they're doing.
Cool. That's great. Matthew, Christiana, any questions from your guys' side?
No, that was really great. Thank you.
Perfect.
No worries.
It's always good to, like, you can never stop learning. This is always. I think it was Warren Buffett that said he didn't want to go to bed without learning something new, and there's definitely like with business, you can never have it perfect. There's always ways to automate and improve and put in a new system that's going to make your life a lot easier. So that's really good.
Yeah, I personally have over 300 books, either in the online version or in paperback that I've read and or listened to over the years. So there's a huge amount of knowledge that people can actually learn once you've got it. The important part of it, though, is you can learn all this stuff, but if you don't implement some of it, you haven't actually taken the step or the next step as such. Because retaining the knowledge is all good and well, but if you don't implement some of that knowledge, that's where the business doesn't really move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes business owners don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
and it's definitely those strategies and those simple steps in place that can help you get routine, and that's definitely the stuff that has helped me in my business. So thanks again. So obviously these sessions are recorded, so they will be on the YouTube channel. So if you want to recap and go back, then definitely. And then if you, Tibor, if you have any slides, or if you want to share that with
I'm happy
Melanie,
to share these. Yeah, no worries.
Awesome, thank you. So what we'll do now is we'll just do a quick wrap around the room. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, the company that you represent, and then we can go off into our weekend. Great. So let's start with you, Christiana.
Morning, I'm Christiana. I'm a mortgage advisor with Mortgage Lab. Obviously now is pretty volatile time in the market, so it's a really good time to chat with a mortgage advisor. Just a quick story I was telling my TNG group yesterday. I was talking with someone who had fixed their entire loan with the bank, just direct from the bank. The advice was just to fix it all, but they actually had $350,000 of savings for renovation. So they just held onto that cash, and it's been sitting in their savings account accruing very little interest. Whereas if they'd come to me, I would have put them in either an offset or a revolving credit account, and that would have saved them over $45,000 of interest in the last 3 years. So good time to talk to a mortgage advisor. When things are a bit all over the show.
Yes, definitely. It's a crazy market at the moment, so makes it interesting.
Yeah, very much so.
Matthew, do we have you there?
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthew from Invisi, and we're a business IT company. We do support and security for small to medium businesses in New Zealand. We focus mainly on security, which is something that we find that New Zealand businesses don't really take that seriously, believing that their size and they're being so far away from the rest of the world that will protect them, but we're finding that that's not the case. So we help them bring up their security to protect them from things like ransomware and viruses, and protect their data and also their clients' data. Yeah, Matthew from Invisi.
Thanks, Matthew. Right, there's me. I'm Dan, so I run Ingot, which is a digital design studio. So where we're most commonly working in is with businesses who've been around for 5+ years. They've got a website, they've got all these third-party systems that they use, and they need to integrate, they need to automate. So where we come in is a custom web development with the brand aspect. So helping them create a platform that is effective, that has good return on investment, but also helps automate and integrate all those third-party things that they do in a beautifully packaged way. And then we also do brand design as well. So definitely in that digital space, helping businesses kind of take that next step with their online ecosystem. That's the space that we sit in. Cool. From the TNG desk, is there anything?
No, nothing to add, except thanks for joining us today. And thank you so much, Tibor. That was so informative.
Good.
In my own business.
I mean, you can, your own business, share a little bit about that as well.
Oh, so as well as working for the networking group, I also own my markets, which I organise events on the Hibiscus Coast. So tonight we have the Orewa Twilight Market, and I do artisan markets and work in Milford and Browns Bay and Birkdale, kind of just organise the food and craft side of events with associations. And I'll also work for Plunkett. I'm a community support coordinator in the Central West area.
Wow.
So
busy lady.
But your talk was so informative. But I don't know
excellent.
Find the time to implement those things, but there's some things that would be really helpful.
Perfect.
And that just comes back to making sure that you get your structures right. So
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Tibor.
No worries, Dan. Thank you.
And obviously, just a quick recap of that offer that Tibor had. So there was $1,000 a month for the one-on-one coaching that he was offering to TNG members. So if you are interested, do reach out to Tibor and further conversation. Otherwise, obviously, do your coffee catch-ups, do your networking, and thanks again for joining us. Our next session will be in a fortnight, and we've got Ross Blymalt from
Ross Blymalt. Yep.
Yes, so he's going to be sharing with us a little bit more on the physical side, so how you can look after your health a bit better, and obviously if you can be energized and passionate and be alert all day, it's going to help your business as well, 100%. So thank you once again for joining. The sessions are recorded, so they'll be on the YouTube channel. But otherwise, once again, thank you, Tibor, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.